we were talking about our childhood and some of the things that happened in our childhood that affected the way we are as people in marriage. Oh, you and me in particular.
Right. Yeah, it's very important, your background, how it affects your marriage.
It's important to know that it does have an effect on your marriage. And I think we talked about how your background is going to affect your marriage. The key is when you see it, what do you do?
Right.
How do you handle that? I mean, because I grew up in a home where it was interesting living.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we were orphans. I mean, we had both parents, but you know,
You had a difficult childhood.
yeah, it was it was dysfunctional.
Difficult. Mm-hmm.
You know,
And I grew up in a dysfunctional home too.
Charles
Yeah.
Archie was
Yes,
dysfunctional.
Charles Archie was dysfunctional,
How?
and so was Josephine T.
Oh, Mama Josephine.
Your Mama Josephine. You know, and so a lot of times we pick up things from our background. And
Yeah, that's true.
what we were talking about this week is things that we seriously have been waiting on with one another
Right.
in our relationship. You know, after 29 years, you do a lot of waiting on the other person to get it together in their areas that they need to get it together. So, you know, you do. You know, no. This is not shade.
Oh, okay.
This is
I'm
not
just
shade.
making
your
sure, 'cause-
way. I'm just saying, in
Yeah.
a
No,
marriage,
that's
you
true.
do a lot
That's
of
true.
waiting.
But
And so when you do a lot of waiting, then there comes a point sometimes where you know you get tired of waiting on that person to measure up or to change to particular things. So what do? You've got to have the honest conversations about how this is affecting you as a person.
But
That thing you do or whatever the problem is, you have to have an honest conversation with the person about how this is affecting you.
right. But that's both sides. I know you're saying
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
both sides because we both have backgrounds. We both
That's right.
come from backgrounds, and yeah, it's gonna have its effects, on the person. But when
You still think I was throwing shade your way, right?
well, when you
That's why he threw in this
That's
was
why
both
you put Both
sides.
sides, right? This is the both sides. I was talking in general
camera person.
about marriages. I was talking in general about marriages,
But it was just
relationships.
no. That's true. No. It's just you.
And
really,
it may have been because we had a conversation recently that you felt the shade of the tree.
It's, no. See. I guess it was with the vigor in which you were expressing it.
I always talk like that. I'm very intense. I am intense.
So, yes, your background is important. I think when you have those discussions about your background, discovering it, and actually this is where the deep part,
Right.
getting to that deeper part of the relationship can develop, and this is where the strength is actually built. This is the girder part of the relationship because once you acknowledge and recognize, yes, I have a background, because some of those backgrounds can really have a devastating effect if they're not properly dealt with.
And they are painful areas sometimes because maybe you've been living a certain way a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe you've allowed your spouse to get away with some things, and he's allowed you to get away with some things. And what? I don't know why you. What?
It's just you do this. It's just like sometimes your spouse,
You really feeling what you saying, Mama.
Yeah. You're feeling. I mean,
I think it's just.
Maybe I'm getting all into my feelings, all right?
Yeah, because I
Don't be so sensitive.
Yes.
Well, why am I busy? Anyway.
Sensitivity.
Anyway, no, it's important. It's very important. To
But you
acknowledge
can
that.
come to Jesus moment, a revelation, a point where you all have to agree that you're going to respect where the other person is in how they're going to overcome these issues in your relationship.
Right, sure.
Because no person lives just to themselves in a home.
No.
So what you do is going to affect your family, it's going to affect your spouse. It is going to affect everybody in the home. And so that's just something.
See, Dad, do you see that smile? She do that thing.
See, with something after 29 years that we came to a certain agreement about. You know, we just really wanted to make sure that we're not going to do these things again.
Well, you know what? This is getting to that place is where that part is a result. That part is a result of what you did prior in terms of communication in your relationship. So when you come to these deeper areas, because of what you've been practicing, you're able to get there where you have that communication, when you see the background,
Right.
and what effect it's having on you in the whole home. So say for instance, like in my case, my dad wasn't a great communicator, and I picked that up. And there's some things.
It doesn't seem like it. You good.
I know, right? It's like, but it was because
Right.
certain things you were like, you know, hey, you're not mentioning all of this,
Right.
you know, and so.
But do you remember when I used to do this one thing? And it would just so irritate you.
What's that?
And I would say, "Stop, Eloise. Don't leave alone, Eloise." Because that was your mom. I saw your mom, and I used to. That was wrong. But I used to.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Yes. Because I'm sure you wouldn't want me to say Archie.
No, right.
That was a dad.
Yeah.
Archibald.
Okay. Well, work on your relationship and learn that you can, even after 29 years, still learn about one another and still learn about your relationship.
And getting there to the place where you can talk about everything deeply. All right, until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.